18 months ago, before this trip in December of 2022, my parents and I were at my grandma's place and all of us thought we should go to Germany to meet someone there. Turns out that someone was a family member who was living there in the center of Germany. Or in the northwest, I don't know. Anyways, it was like 3 days after Christmas when we decided to go there. In fact, we were really prepared. We even booked a hotel near Poznan to rest. I don't remember the exact place, but what I remember is that it had a McDonald's nearby. Everything was going fine until one fateful day. Yeah, it was not going too well. For the sake of our car sliding off the roads, we decided to postpone the trip to another time. But then the day went further and further until it got to the point that my parents canceled the whole trip entirely and we wouldn't go on this humongous trip ever again. Until one day, we, for some random reason, decided that we should go to Poland because it was someone's birthday. Not mine, by the way. According to this post, I speculated before the trip to Poland that I would be going there at the end of May. I also speculated that we would be going to Warsaw or maybe Kraków, but I didn't know if I would be going there because my parents never told me specifically what region of Poland we would be going to. Maybe the hills at Zakopane? Or the port city of Gdańsk? No, of course not. We went to a small city next to the Belarusian border. Turns out my Easter holidays came up, which meant we had more time to go there. Now I already made a video on this whole trip that explains it all in detail. We finished the trip there and everywhere, and we thought that the next trip would be bigger than the one we just did. But then one random day in May of 2024, our parents began planning for a better and bigger trip than the last one. A trip to Germany. Again, originally we kept changing where we wanted to go. According to this post, the route that is shown in this photo is from Lithuania, then to Warsaw, stop at Kielce for the night, then to Wrocław, then a slip road to Czechia, and finally reaching Dresden. Then after some route tweaking here and there, finally we decided on a final route, from Lithuania to Warsaw, then to Kraków, Wrocław, to Czechia, and finally Dresden. And I call it the Dresden trip. So get comfortable because I will be explaining almost every single detail about this 7-day trip as far as I can remember. So without further ado, let's go. I woke up at around 7 to 8 a.m. Nothing too special. Then we went on a road southeast on the A1 highway. Nothing too special either. Then we arrived in Kaunas.
Acropolis.
Then we passed Mega, one of the biggest shopping malls in Kaunas. Basic stuff. Look, I already talked about this during the Poland trip. Then like last time, we stopped at a Circle K. Now here's a question, did I buy a slushie there just like last time? No, of course I didn't, because I ate an ice cream before going on the roads. Then we decided to stop at a Hesburger because we were really hungry. After that, we drove on the newly fixed A5 highway. And then, after the nothingness that we did, we arrived at the Rzeczpospolitej. Now, the real fun begins. When I mean fun, I mean I got a notification on my phone from a person named Alert RCB, which was pretty unusual since I don't get SMS messages on my phone. That was like this: Alert RCB, warning, strong storms and strong winds are expected today and night, 30th of June to the 1st of July. Prepare for possible flooding. During the storm, seek shelter. Yeah, like not even 30 minutes in the country I'm getting messages like this. Then we passed none other than the sign to Białystok. Okay, just for a moment of this video, I'm gonna be calling this phrase Szkolna 17 because for some reason it's just easier to say it for me. I don't know, don't ask why, I'm weird. Anyways, I'm going to be answering these two comments left on the Białystok trip video. Have you been to the president's office at Szkolna 17? I don't know, probably not. I use Google Translate for this because I only know a little Polish. Going to Białystok and not seeing Szkolna 17 is like going to Rome and not seeing the Colosseum. At first I wanted to know what the fuck is this place named Szkolna 17, and I found this website. Basically it talks about a fucking universe or something. I'm not gonna talk about the whole lore about this because I'm not Polish and I don't know anything about this, but you can check out this website for yourself if you want. But from my understanding, it's Krzysztof and his numerous friends overcoming some crazy adventures. For my Lithuanian viewers, it's like Yesha and his friends conquering some adventures. Also on this website you can find some facts there. Did you know that Krzysztof decided to run for the mayor of Białystok in 2006? And also he died in March of 2025, which would be considered the death of the Szkolna 17 universe. Yeah. Pretty sad. Answering that comment, I might try to go there sometime, maybe when I'll be an adult, but still, even if I would have gone to Szkolna 17, my parents wouldn't even know what that is. I'm not an understander of Polish memes, but more Lithuanian ones because, you know. Again, I might go there sometime and I'm sorry if I didn't. Anyways, Kalaktas cool, and let's continue with the video. So after we passed the Białystok sign, for some goddamn reason we couldn't go around Łomża. Instead, the route looked like this. Firstly, we went where the sign shows Giżycko and Kolno. Then there was a roundabout. Great. And if that's not great enough for you, there was traffic. Double great. And if that isn't more great, there was another roundabout. Oh, and there's the third one just to top it all off. It took us to these country roads, take me home. Now, we intended to avoid Łomża because of the traffic. And look, I don't want to be in this situation where you're on the hill with 80 other cars. You don't want to be here, and neither of the 80 cars behind and in front of you. From what I remember, there wasn't any bad traffic while we were there, but I absolutely loved this road. Look, there's even a town literally named Friday. Piątnica. You could have done it better, but you've made it an absolute cinema. Alright, here's Łomża. We stopped at a Circle K again, and we bought and ate some ice cream because it was a bit warm here. Then we left Łomża, and for some reason I got to sit in the front, and I can say that it was worth it. There isn't much I can say about the trip from Łomża onwards because there wasn't really interesting going on. But then finally, after 6 fucking hours, we arrived at the blistering hot Warsaw. Oh my god, I'm in a sauna. Hot jokes aside, the city was fucking lovely. Look, I'm not even in the city center and I'm seeing this. Do you see what I'm seeing? I couldn't wrap my hand around what I was seeing. After discovering the maze that is Warsaw traffic, trust me, it's like the same traffic like in Vilnius. We drove for like 15 minutes and finally we reached the city center. We parked our car next to some gym and a nightclub. The hotel was tall. Very tall. So tall you couldn't wrap your head around. Yup, it's a Novotel. But can I appreciate this hotel for a bit? Look, the reception room reminded me of the time when I went to Turkey in 2022. Everything felt like that. And the room too, oh my god. Seriously, if you have the budget, choose this hotel. Take it as a PopsicL recommendation. Look, I even left it a 5-star rating on Google Maps. Anyways, our room was on the 15th floor or something like that. I remember that it was near at the top of the hotel. The view, oh my god, I could look at it hours on end. It felt like I wanted to live here forever. Anyways, we left all of the luggage there because we wanted to check out Warsaw for ourselves, and firstly, we wanted to eat somewhere fancy. And by fancy, I mean a Pizza Hut. There I needed a cheese pizza because I could. But right next to us, there was this man that was talking complete gibberish that we call the Polish language. Just kidding, I don't know what the hell he was talking about. From what I remember, he had like 4 beers or something and was having a conversation with the waiter. Apparently at one point, I think he was saying something bad about LGBTQ stuff. Yeah, he was completely drunk, and it was almost 6 p.m. on a Sunday, mind you. Anyways, it was a pretty good pizza. We went back to our hotel. It was a 5-minute walk. We rested for a bit, and then we sat in our car because it's time to go to the Warsaw Center. Let's go. We parked at the Teatr Narodowy and then we went on foot. Apparently some 6 or 7 girls were dancing near the Sigismund III column, and I think they were making a TikTok. Anyways, I don't remember exactly what we did for the rest of the day. We just walked around the city center and that's it. When we got back in the evening, we watched some football, more about that later on, and went to sleep. But the worst thing about the sleep is that from the 15th floor, you can still hear the trams below you. Shocking. And by the way, I didn't really hear any bad thunderstorms outside. I think it was a bit of a scare that I got an SMS SMS message telling me that. Nevertheless, that concludes the first day of the trip in Warsaw. Alright, day 2. Firstly, we had to leave the hotel and sit in the car because we will have a long day. There isn't anything I have to tell you about after we left Warsaw there and everywhere, so let me give you some nice clips that I have from my phone. You're welcome. Alright, after 2 or 3 something hours, we arrived at Kraków, our big and first stop on this route. Now, since this is a city where the traffic is a bit similar to Warsaw in my opinion, I can say that the traffic is like Kaunas level. Not too bad, but not too good either. Anyways, after we found where to park, we found a hotel to stay for the next 2 days. And it's the Hotel Wyspiański, a 3-star hotel. Again, just like Kaunas level traffic, the hotel is not too bad, but not too good either. I mean, I expected a little bit better, but it's good enough to stay for a couple of days. But the best thing about this hotel is not the inside, but the outside. That's right, the internet's one famous thing about Poland is the żabka, and there are lots of them, which surprised my parents. Think of it as an AIB in Lithuania. There are a lot of these stores across the country, but you don't see them in every corner. But in Poland, I didn't really expect 2 żabkas in a 100-meter distance, but in 500 meters, I think it's like 7 or 8 of them. Or maybe 12 if you really like it. Anyways, outside of the hotel there was a pub and billiards club, which was pretty cool. Regardless, we put almost all of our stuff and we were ready to walk through the city center. And when I mean walk through the city center, I mean this is going to be a long walk. Let's go. Firstly, we went to eat somewhere, of course. But before we do that, let's appreciate St. Mary's Basilica for about 4 seconds. Now that we've done that, let's go eat. We sat somewhere near Sphinx, which I ate there last time when I went to Białystok, but in Kraków I ate a pizza there. Then we walked to the second most popular place in Kraków in my opinion, the Kraków Royal Castle. From my point of view, it has the same amazingness of the city center. I definitely recommend going there. We didn't go to the museums as that would take a lot of time, and of course we are here for the views. I don't remember exactly what we did after that. We might have stayed in the city center for a bit, but anyways, we went back to our hotel after a long day. I might have heard some people shouting near the bar, which I wanted to make a TikTok out of. Sorry. We watched some football again and then we went to sleep. And that concludes the second day of this trip. Nothing too much, but still a pretty reasonable day to be proud of.
Wieliczka. Wieliczka.
Wieliczka. It's a town in southern Poland with 27,000 people and located 12 kilometers from our hotel, and that is the main destination for our day today. We wanted to go to the #1 tourist attraction in this town, the Wieliczka salt mine. Originally, we bought tickets from the salt mine early online so as to not wait in lines and buy it instantly when we arrived. So we jumped in our car and headed to Wieliczka. Firstly, when you arrive, you are bombarded with parking signs like a 3-kilometer radius from the salt mine. We decided to park here, next to the mine, because according to some person we met, it was cheap and we would get a discount on our food in this restaurant if we parked here. Spoilers, the restaurant was closed. Alright, we went inside the mine and this is how it went. Firstly, you walk to a wooden chamber, and then go down and down these sets of stairs. And let me tell you, when you walk down these steps, you will experience a feeling where you're walking and walking down and down these steps forever with no goal set in mind. That is how I felt walking down these steps. Okay, so you reach level 1, which is 64 meters deep. Mind you, the salt mine has a depth of 327 meters and it extends for over 287 kilometers, which is about the distance from Klaipėda to Vilnius. Shocking, am I right? It's a very dark mine. Obviously. There are many sculptures which you will encounter en route, which look fascinating in my opinion. You might also encounter some salt walls which look stunning. I wish I had a taste of that though. Then you walk up and down some steps. Anyways, you walk some more until you reach the most fascinating part of the salt mine, a chapel. Specifically the Saint Kinga chapel. Yes, a chapel inside a salt mine. Underground. It is just incredible. I can't even describe it myself with my own words. Everything is so detailed, to the little grains, the sculptures, everything. You can have a wedding there if you have a couple million. Okay, the chapel is cool, but you're not done yet. It's time to walk again. And we find a lake in this distinguished teal color. Pretty cool, I guess. Then you walk through this tall structure, also pretty cool in my opinion. Then you walk down again, there's another lake, and that's it. You have finished the whole route, almost. There's a cafe where you can eat and drink there, you can buy some cool shit, and then you walk along and along until you reach these red doors, which is the final stretch of the road. These are lifts which take you to the same building where you started. When I was there, the lifts were absolutely terrifying, which plunge you upwards, and I thought I was going insane. Finally, once you were back into the overworld, you enter this souvenir shop where I bought a small chocolate bar for salt for 2 zloty, and let me tell you, it was about 99% chocolate and 1% salt. Once we were finished, my parents were looking for somewhere to eat and we couldn't find a place. Of course, the restaurant that we would have gone there and gotten a discount would have helped us. We also wandered around the city for a bit and then we left Wieliczka. Back in Kraków, we decided to go to the city center one last time, but this time a little bit differently. You see, I am a huge trams fan. Really, I live in a country with no trams. I have expressed my love for trams for so long, so when I saw Kraków trams, I thought we should go on these one day. So we did. We wanted to go a short route so as to not end up in a different part of the city without a car. So we went on some tram from Poczta Główna to the Teatr Bagatela. Again, just a short route. It cost 4 zloty for like 20 minutes. Just like last time, we walked around the city center for a bit, then we took a look at the building in the very center of the city square, the Eventka Sukiennica. And that's about it for this day. The third day of the trip completed. Okay, our first destination of this trip is completed. We have finished conquering the Kraków, but we will have to conquer another destination eventually. But first, let's go to Wrocław. Why? I will tell you later. Just kidding, we will be going a bit off the road that we would usually go to Wrocław. Yes, through Babice. Why? I don't know. Okay, we arrived at the place everybody knows, the Auschwitz gates. We drove around a bit around the gates and we ended up in this car park to see if we could go to the Auschwitz museum. But of course we didn't go there because there were some issues. Firstly, we had to book in advance just like the Wieliczka salt mine, of course. According to the official Auschwitz Museum website, it says, because of a large number of visitors, guides should be reserved at least 2 months before a planned visit. We didn't expect to go there, we only expected to see the gates and that's it. Secondly, we don't have any time. If you want to go to Auschwitz 1 and Birkenau, it would take around 2 hours, 3.5 at worst. Again, we don't have time, we have to go to Wrocław today. Anyways, we left Auschwitz, albeit that's the town name. Okay, we arrived at Wrocław. For this occasion, we rented an apartment for 2 days. Yes, rented an apartment. We didn't stay in any hotels. Anyways, we wanted to go to the city center, so we did. We were walking along, but I kept seeing these dwarfs everywhere. They're not here just for vanity, they're a tourist attraction. A big one, the 3rd largest one in Poland. And according to Wikipedia, tourists often walk around the city with a map trying to find all of them. And when I mean all of them, I mean there are about 800 of them as of 2024. Anyways, we got to the city center. It is pretty beautiful, but I must say it wasn't that appealing to me than Warsaw and Kraków did. Sure, the two cities were fantastic, but Wrocław, when we were here, just didn't stand out to me. Okay, sure, that's the older river with the little islands and stuff, but we didn't know that. Mind you, we were on the city square and that's it. Anyways, we went to a shop where we made the biggest mistake yet. So there's these YouTubers called Honest Guy. They're 2 dudes from Prague making videos about the city. You should go watch them, by the way, if you're going to visit Prague one day. And in one of their videos, they showed that there are these, quote, tourist candy stores that are actually really overpriced and have been appearing in popular tourist destinations. In these stores, you pay by weight, and actually they are expensive. From their scenario, just 1 kilogram of candy cost them 31 euros. Now we, that idiots that we were, didn't know that. I didn't even watch Honest Guy prior to this trip. After we put the candy into our bags, we put the whole bag on the scale, and the cashier, bless her heart, she was very sweet. She said 85 zloty. 85 zloty. 20 fucking euros. And after we discovered the price, we could either reject with the advantage of us being idiots in the store after that, or just pay up. So we did pay up, and it wasn't a full bag either. Heck, it was almost half full. We felt like idiots. Not in the store, but in our hearts. I wish you can feel the pain with me. Anyways, we walked for a bit, bought some ice cream because for some reason my mom wanted to. We checked out the Plac Wolności and then we left the city center. But this day doesn't end here so easily. We wanted to eat something because you know that 20 euros on food is way better than 20 euros on half full candy bags. We headed to our nearest Aldi and I took this video of a water named Mocny Gaz, not for random. Let me give you some context. That same week when I was traveling from the 1st of June to the 7th of July, I chose speed was visiting Europe, but on the 2nd of July, he was visiting Poland, like I was. Now on one occasion, some dude, you know what, I'm gonna play this clip.
We have a water, it's called Mocny Gaz.
Mocny Gaz?
What?
Oh, bro, what the?
It's the best Polish water, Mocny Gaz.
Bro, what is this called?
Mocny Gaz.
What the fuck? Excuse me, ma'am. What is this called?
Mocny Gaz.
What is this called?
Gaz.
No, that.
Mocny.
Mom. What is this called?
Mocny Gaz.
What the fuck? What is going on in Poland? Most niggas. What the fuck? Why do y'all order called niggas for? So what the hell is going on? Most niggas. Was that a haircut?
No.
What is this called?
Mocny Gaz.
Yo, speak. Yo.
Yeah, get this most nigga shit away from me. This is nigga water.
How is it in Poland? How is it in Poland?
This nigga water, apparently.
This will never get old. Now while that was happening, I for some reason took this clip. I wanted to upload this on TikTok, but I thought, no, this won't do anything, and I just left it in my gallery. Anyways, after the Mocny Gaz day that was, we went back home and rested. No, shoot, the apartments. Yeah, the apartments were pretty nice in my opinion. It reminded me of the times when I lived in Bradford in one of these apartments. In fact, I can feel and smell that feeling just walking down the corridor. Yeah, those were the times. Okay, so now we can rest. See you tomorrow. Alright mountain dwellers, let's go somewhere because today is going to be all about mountains. No, we're not going to Zakopane where everyone is going to. Today we're going to Czechia because for some reason it is needed on this road. And yes, we are going from Wrocław to Czechia and back because we can, and the road itself is not short, just 1 hour and a half, so we will have plenty of time to check out what we need. But before we arrive in Czechia, let's go to see one place which I have never expected to go to, the Świdnica Church. It was built in 1656, and yeah, I can say the inside of the church is more beautiful. But you have to pay to enter it though. I think it's like 2 or 3 euros to enter, but it is worth it. 10 out of 10. No wait, 11 out of 10. Yeah, this is so good I even gave it an 11. The outside is also pretty good as well. The garden and the park are pretty neat. Anyways, we can't be here for long because the mountains are waiting for us. After some 45 minutes of going up and up and up, we finally reached the Czechia border. 8 minutes remaining to our destination. Now you might be wondering, if you're going 8 more minutes for your destination, can't you just stop here and look at the mountains for 1 hour and then leave? Nope, I lied about the mountain part, but there will be something mountain related today. Today we arrived at our main destination for today, the village of Adolszpach. Now you might be asking, why did you go 1.5 hours away just for a random village in northern Czechia? Well, we only came here for the village's one main thing, the Adolszpach rock formations, and I will prove to you that it was worth it. Let's go. Firstly, the parking. We have that covered. We found a parking spot easily. Secondly, nature. Like, I didn't start the path yet and I see the rocks from afar. Anyways, the path that we chose was simple. 16 different points of interest, 9 rescue points, 3.5 kilometer distance in about 2.5 hours. Now, I could tell you about every single point mentioned here, but that would take way too long to explain, and this video is long enough that we only finished 5 out of 8 days of this trip already. You can watch this video here if you want to know more about the Adolszpach rock formations, but I'll tell you about the main points of this route in short. Firstly, the Quarry Lake. This lake stretches for 1.5 kilometers and I must say that it is so beautiful. It reminded me of one of those TikToks where people film lakes and get a lot of likes or something like that. I wanted to make a TikTok. God damn it, why did I want to make TikTok so bad? What the hell? But I already knew it won't do anything. Secondly, the Sugar Loaf, which is pretty known for having a pretty weird shape. It's 3 meters wide at the bottom and 13 meters wide at the top. That is interesting, not gonna lie. Thirdly, the Gothic Gate. A gate that is not Gothic related at all, but looks amazing though. You walk through the gate and you can feel the temperature dropping while you look at the indifferent rock formations near you. Next, the Elephant Square, a space where it's enclosed by rocks that resemble elephants. And finally, the Great Waterfall and the bust of Wolfgang Goethe. Yes, the Wolfgang came here and they built a little sculpture out of it. Okay, that was it. The other Spock rock formations. I do recommend you visit it and I'll sure you have a great time looking out into nature. Heck, there is a train station near this. How? Why? In short terms, 10 out of 10 destination. No, 11 out of 10 due to the train station. Okay, that was one destination done. Check. But we're not done yet. We're already 1/3 of the destinations complete because it's time to plunge more into Czechia. We didn't buy the vignette for nothing. We wanted to go somewhere, but we ended up in a bit of a pickle because there are too many mountains. What the hell? Anyways, we like to shop in other countries because sometimes the food that we can't afford in our Switzerland priced country makes it worth it to go to another country and do the shopping there. And yeah, we're not the only ones who do this.
Netoli Lietuvos sienos Lenkijos pusėje esančios Seinų miestelio parduotuvėse nemažai lietuvių. Žmonės ieško pigesnių maisto produktų, kitokių prekių, dideliais kiekiais perka alkoholinius gėrimus. Alus Lenkijoje gerokai pigesnis, skardinė gėrimo apie 50 € pigiau, degtinės butelis keliais eurais. Tuo pačiu tautiečiai ir bakus degalais pripildo. Litras benzino ar dizelino maždaug 20 € pigiau nei pas mus. Lietuviai sako, kad apsipirkti Lenkijoje vis dar labiau apsimoka nei Lietuvoje.
Yeah, I would like to mention that this thing is slowly becoming rarer and rarer as time goes on. Anyways, we decided to go to a small enough city and do the shopping there. Trutnov, to be exact. At first I wanted to go to a Tesco because for some reason they have these. If Tesco wouldn't have gone bankrupt in Poland, this video would have been a banger. But my parents thought shopping at a Tesco would be too expensive and it would be simple to do an ordinary shopping journey instead. So we did that. And why not do the shopping in the most lovable thing in the whole universe, that is, a Kaufland.
Top 5 random products capybara in Kaufland.
And yes, it's time to bring back the classic, but this time with a completed list because for some reason I didn't finish the list in the last travel video. I ended it at 2.
Número 1. Pufuletti gusto capybara.
Okay, so this thing is in some of the stores in Lithuania, so if you don't live in the top 3 cities of Lithuania, then I'm sorry for you. Let me explain what this is. This is a Scan and Go, a feature in renovated Maxima stores that provide hand scanners, and you are able to scan your items as you shop, making this pretty accessible. While you are scanning your items, you can put them in the bag so that you won't have to unload them and load them again at the checkout, making this time saving.
Número 2. Suc Frutti Fresh Capybara.
This store has a 2nd floor. I repeat, this store has a 2nd floor.
Número 3. Chocolata Rom Capybara.
And it also has escalators. Holy shit.
Número 4. Mince de fotbal din Copilarie Capybara.
Práve sa dopieklo čerstvé a chrumkavé pečivo priamo z pece.
Número 5. Pragitura Nuga Capybara.
We had to use Czech crowns for this. Great. We paid around maybe 40 to 60 euros or around 1 to 1,500 crowns. Again, the keyword being maybe. I don't remember the exact price, but what I do remember is that I bought a Kinder Bueno ice cream. My top 5 ice creams in my opinion. Hey, this gives me an idea to make an ice cream tier list. Anyways, Czechia was awesome. 10 out of 10 country. Okay, our first destination complete. Time to go to the second one. And it didn't even take that long. Just a simple goodbye to Czechia, go to Wałbrzych, and we're here. Okay, so some of you might or might not know this place, but my dad absolutely wanted to go there. So here we are, the Zamek Książ. This castle, oh my god, looks absolutely stunning. It sits on top of a hill and yeah, looks awesome in my opinion. We could have gone for the true experience by paying 16 euros or 69 zloty to go inside the castle, but it is the evening right now and we don't have a perfect amount of time, so we refused. We just walked around the castle for like 30 to 60 minutes. It also started raining a bit. Double nice. Anyways, the day was perfect. We went back to Wrocław, watched some TV, and yeah, what can I say? Perfect day. Alright everybody, today is the day that you all watching have been waiting for. The day, maybe 2 or 3, will be the best ones ever. I even named this trip after the main city that we will be going to, Dresden. It will be fantastic. Kraków and Czechia have been little warm-ups for this trip, and once we get into Germany, things will be turned 90 degrees. No, 270. But first, we must say our goodbyes to Wrocław. And once we came into Germany, it all started. Firstly, the border guard stopped us for a bit for no reason. Everything was fine, we didn't get arrested. Then you go into a tunnel, and it is a long tunnel, not gonna lie. Like a 3.5 kilometer long tunnel. Then we go on the open Autobahn. Okay, let me tell you a little fact. Now, remember when I told you that I Show Speed was visiting Poland? Well, do you want to know what also happened during that week? The Euros. And just we got into Germany, I knew that Germany was hosting the Euros, right? And that Germany would play against Spain that day, right? And we wouldn't want to miss out on that, right?
Deutschland gegen Spanien im Viertelfinale der Fußball-Europameisterschaft. 18 Uhr das Spiel, schon vorher, gleich 16 Uhr bei der EM-Fanzone.
And then we arrived at a destination that I didn't expect, the Bastille Bridge. A rock formation that rises up to 194 meters, and oh my god, it is a beauty. Like, you can see the trains, the river Elbe, the beautiful nature, everything. Sure, it is a bit impressive as the ones in Wieliczka, but if you want, you can walk 6 kilometers through the Bastille in like 2 hours. We only came here for like an hour and took some pictures. Of course we didn't take the whole route because we didn't want to, and I remember that our grandma fainted for like no reason in front of us. So that was a bit scarring. Anyways, we decided to go on some mountains, and again, just look at this. Finally, after 1,200 kilometers and after 5 days of this, we arrived at our main destination, Dresden. But before we tell you what hotel we picked, let me give you some backstory. So, April of 2024, we still didn't pick a hotel to stay in Dresden, so we had 3 options. Option 1, the Kim Hotel. No, not the Kim Jong-un Hotel, please don't shoot him with a 70-ton weapon. I actually like this place for a few reasons. It has a tram stop nearby, a bus stop, a couple of department stores, and an Aldi, and there was a liquor store nearby. And this hotel cost 90 euros a night. The problem is that it was located in the outskirts of the city, and it would be too far from the center. Option 2, another Kim Hotel in Park. I didn't really like this one due to it being 99% park and 1% fun. This one didn't really stand out to me. I knew that I liked the first option better. This one was also in the outskirts but a bit deeper in the city. But still, this one was not that great in my opinion. But it was a bit cheaper than the other Kim Hotel. Option 3, the Andante Hotel. This one was very conveniently located. It had a school nearby, an Aldi just a bit further, a pizza place, and a bus and tram stop nearby. It was just a perfect location. It was in the outskirts of the city this time, but still, it is a bit further. Anyways, we picked the third option because we knew it was better than the other 2. So we arrived at the Andante Hotel, and the room that we got was pretty good after all. Okay, we were hungry. It was 4 PM after all, which meant we had to go to the city center to eat. You can't just order pizza and expect to have lunch at your hotel. So we decided to go to the city center. Now, I knew we had to go on the tram for this one. I checked the routes beforehand, and as it turns out, there was a convenient route number 9, or whatever route it was, I don't care, that went from our hotel to the city center. Great! So we bought the tickets from the machine and €9.60. One ticket that costs €3.20? What the fuck? Yeah, you dipshit, it's Germany and Lithuania. Of course the prices are like 900% higher. Anyways, once we were afraid of the god forbidden ticket prices that we could pay for a pizza, we got on the tram, and I must say that the tram ride was splendid. 10 out of 10. Here's some more tram rides that were worthy of a 10 out of 10. Alright, we arrived at the city center. Nice. Time to go somewhere to eat. Since we are not familiar with the city at all, as if you weren't familiar with all the cities that I've gone to in this trip, we were looking everywhere to eat and we couldn't find a place until we found one, Piazza Italia. But before we found the place, we went to the Lindt chocolate shop. It looked pretty cozy in there. We also had some free samples and holy shit, the chocolate was good. Anyways, we went to the restaurant I talked about 10 seconds ago. The pizza was pretty good, but I noticed I had to use scissors to cut my pizza. That's pretty interesting. In the restaurant, I was watching the Spain vs Germany football match on my phone. Anyways, we went inside the Frauenkirche, which was pretty interesting, I must say. Then we walked through the Academy of Fine Arts and rested at the Brühlische Terrasse, where we watched people watching the Spain vs Germany match. Yes, we absolutely nailed this trip to Dresden after all. After that, I don't know what we did, we just walked around and that's it. Absolutely nothing special here. Here's a video that sums up our hotel experience. Yeah, isn't it amazing to live near screeching trams for the third time in a row? I hope so. Hello everybody, so we are ready for the next day in Dresden. Let's go. But first, let's go to our local Aldi, which we haven't been to. First thing I see, bread cutter. Anyways, I don't know what we bought. All I remember was buying Oreo O's and my dad buying 2 euros of wine. Yes, there's wine for 2 euros. Crazy. Anyways, we went home and we were ready to go to the city center once again. I also have this photo saved, but I don't know where it was taken. Once we arrived here after our tram journey, it hit me. This one thing that has been ruining my life for like the past 2.5 years. Now you might be wondering, Popsicle, what in the fuck are you talking about? Well, dear viewer, let me explain to you. Okay, the spring of 2024, I got back home and my eyes started to itch for no apparent reason. Then after like a week or so, my eyes still didn't stop itching. Then I got these eye drops which still didn't work. Amazing. And then I found out that I have an allergy. Now I don't have any bad allergies like for example walnuts, but I don't think that I have any allergy at all until that day. Apparently I have some sort of pollen allergy. My parents say I have an allergy to poplar, which is the tree filled to the brim with fluff, which gives off the illusion of snow for some reason. Apparently I sneeze more than I have to, my eyes begin to itch, I have to blow my nose in a napkin for like 20 times a day. Yeah, you know, it's not that perfect. Then I got these tablets that would treat my allergy and yeah, these work pretty well. The allergy comes during the middle or end of the spring until like autumn, but then after that everything is fine. Anyways, back to Dresden. My allergy was gone for no reason for like a month, but then it came back unexpectedly like I did something bad and shit just hit the roof. I was sneezing 50 times a second like that girl who sneezes 12,000 times a day. My eyes were itchy, I was asking my mom for a napkin the whole time. Basically the allergy was laughing at my ass at this point. And then we were at the best place in the world, the Dresden Swing, which was under construction. There were tens of tourists. Look, this is so funny and depressing at the same time. Anyways, we walked for a bit, then we ended up at the Altmark for some reason, and then we decided to go to a McDonald's nearby because it was 3 p.m. and we were hungry. For some reason my parents didn't like the food. For me the food was okay. Anyways, after this we just went home. Nothing really productive today. If that allergy wouldn't have fucked up my second productive day at Dresden, I would have gone to see more, but it is as it is. We went home at 4 p.m. just to take my allergy tablets. And sadly, that was it. That was the day. We just watched football during the evening and that's it. Man, I hope this day is the only sad day. Nope, that was foreshadowing. Today we are going home. That's it. No more silly business because that shit has ended. Unfortunately, due to our short journey time span of a week, we have to go home. So let's go through a quick fire round. Firstly, we went to Dresden with the road leading to the Ebertplatz because for some reason I have this photo saved on my phone. Then we went to the Bundesautobahn for Poland. Oh my god, there are so many cars. We passed the Polish border. Kurwa mać. We got some McDonald's. The cashiers can't speak English. Splendid. We ate our food. Then we reached the start of Wrocław. And we passed it! Oh my god, we are going through woods. We also passed woods! How? Okay, let me tell you something. Actually, two somethings because I can do that. Firstly, we were supposed to go to Berlin to check out the city for a short time. But our car, bless its soul, because I don't know how it has survived this mess of a journey. Anyways, we thought that the tires on our car were absolutely fucked up and didn't fit into a luxurious German roads. We overheard some squeaking noises coming in our car, so we passed that. Secondly, we also wanted to go to Lodz to check out the city for a short time. But the weather, bless its soul as well, because I don't know how it has survived without rain for like 3 days. Anyways, we thought it wouldn't rain here and our ending of the trip was absolutely fucked up and it wouldn't be possible to go to the city without an umbrella. It was raining like 100 kilometers to Lodz, so we passed that. Now let's continue with the video. We were going through the E30 and stopped at Warsaw. Why? Turns out we found a hotel there. Again. Well, not in the Warsaw center, but in this random bumfuck town of Ołtarzew. Again, why? Well, since we are not robots that could drive 200 kilometers in one day, we just rented a hotel just to rest. The Hotel Lamberton, just to be specific. Anyways, there's literally nothing to do here. It's just a typical town. What did you expect? The room was pretty nice. We just lay down in the beds, rested, watched some TVN, and that was the day actually. Just half of the destination back home completed. If anything, it's a nothing day. Driving, and that's it. Nothing special. This is it, the final day of this godforsaken trip. If anything, I want to finish this trip with a little bit of fun. Look, I won't bore you with all this highway nonsense that I told you a moment ago, but that doesn't mean I won't talk about highways on this day, because it's time to end this trip with a bang. But we don't want to end it just yet, because it's time for a little bit of shopping. Yeah, if you drive for like 7 minutes, you'll reach an Aldi just 5 kilometers away. Let's go. This Aldi though didn't impress me. I don't know why. It's just like the little middle section, but it's everywhere in the store. I just felt it that way in my opinion. Anyways, I remember buying these monster snacks and a Magnum ice cream. I also found this random receipt on the ground and I still have it in my wallet to this day. Man, imagine spending 600 zloty only on wine. That's crazy. Anyways, let's go to the one place to end with, the Blue City Shopping Mall. This place is enormous. 6 floors, a fountain that could reach the Burj Khalifa, everything is great there. I don't remember exactly what we did there, we just looked and shopped at some places, but I remember 2 things. Firstly, we ate at a food court that looked like this. And secondly, we went to a Poundland store. Again, sorry, I mean deals. We just bought a bag of Walker's chips. You can also buy in the Maxima, but only for a limited time. Anyways, the Blue City, absolutely fantastic. One problem about the parking though, we didn't understand it. So we almost got stuck there, again, just like last time in the Alpha Shopping Center in Białystok. Okay, by this time, you might need to prepare yourself for a highway rant. And let's go. We are saying our bye-byes to Warsaw, then we are driving to the E67, then we pass Białystok, again, saw the sign to the governor, and we reached the Lithuanian border. Great, the journey could have ended here because there's nothing to do. But if you want, we pass Marijampolė, Kaunas, the Nemunas River. Eyes are bawling right now, 57 kilometers left, our eyes are salty right now. We passed 1,000 kilometers for some reason, and then we finally got home. 7,900 words said in the script. Well, actually it's around 7,700 to 7,800 because there are some things which I didn't talk in the script. This may be my longest video yet if you don't include the podcast that it is. I had so much things to talk about and I think you can say that this trip had a good reason as to why I said so many things in this video. Look, when you visit the country for the first time, you just want to see everything, you want to touch everything, and you can write, I don't know, a novel about it. And that's what I did. This trip was so fun that this trip again had a reason as to why the length of this video is like 40 minutes long. But I'm going to answer a few questions that you may ask after I said all of these things. Firstly, how much did you guys spend on this trip? I don't have an exact number, even though this trip happened more than a year ago. But I can say that we had spent around 1,000 to 2,000 euros. That's right, euros. Possibly more for this trip, including the food costs, petrol, everything. Just for reference, we spent 200 to 500 euros on the Białystok trip. And that was with 4 people. This time we went to 2 new countries, Germany and Czechia, and explored deeper in one country, that being Poland. And I can tell you that spending 1 to 2k on this trip is not really that expensive at all. Maybe for some of you guys it is not. I don't know, tell me about it in the comments. Secondly, could any of you guys have flown with a plane to Dresden and back? No, that would be a really stupid and interesting. What a stupid question. Third, what is next for this trip? Well, I am planning a much bigger trip than this one, but you guys have to wait to find out. Yes, I mean a bigger trip than this one, which means that the next travel video will be longer than this one, so get ready for more yapping. Fourth, would it have been more interesting if you went on the trip that you guys originally planned? As I said in the very first sentence of this video, I originally planned going to Germany and staying there for some time with some relatives. That meant we wouldn't have gone to Kraków or Wieliczka in Czechia, nor to Dresden. In fact, we wouldn't have had that much fun visiting some sites, eating food at restaurants, and having lots of fun. And finally, was this trip worth it? Absolutely. If you have 2,000 euros to spend and you live somewhere and want to go on this humongous trip with your family, go for it. Do whatever you want. Anyways, thank you for watching me yap for like 39 minutes while talking from an 8,000 word script, and I will see you later in the next PopsicL video. It won't or will be as big as this one, but next year it will be. Anyways, thank you for watching Suffering This, and I will see you later, somewhere up high, maybe in the Alps. Goodbye.